I'm Liz Stuckey-Sundy, the Executive Director and co-founder of Music to Life. We build activism through music, and we've been working at this, my dad and I, you would know my dad as Noel Paul Stuckey of the folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary. And we've been working on this for a number of years, sort of exploring the question, how can music really make change in the world? And we've done this by sort of connecting with nonprofits that want to use music as a kind of a messaging tool around their mission, and how can they connect with their donors and their audiences better that way. So we've organized productions for them, and we've done educational programs for conferences, and we've reached tens of thousands of people through the power of music in this way. But recently, a couple of years ago, we were approached by a Haitian artist who joined our board, an activist artist, who said, well, I love the programming you're doing all over the country, and it's clearly kind of moving hearts and minds around issues. But what are you doing with your artists? And at that point, we had actually been building a juried artist list. So a list of artists who were not only singing about the issues of their time, but were actually stepping into their communities in all kinds of creative ways to make change and really sort of bring their music to address and to sort of facilitate change in communities that were hurting, communities in need. And so we turned to that list a couple of years ago and started asking questions of those artists. Hey, if you needed more help to facilitate your change work, what would that look like? And the answers we got back were, well, we need some funding for our concept. We need training and some technical assistance to help us understand if we're doing what we should be. You know, are our programs really making a difference in the world? How do we write a grant? How do we connect with a nonprofit? How do we sustain the programming work that we're doing? Can we get paid for this work too? These were the questions we were sort of getting asked. And then the third piece is, can you please help me connect with some like-minded musicians around the country who are doing this work, because it can be lonely out here as a change agent. So we took those three questions, funding for my concept, some technical assistance, and connection with a like-minded group of artists, and we created the Accelerator program, the Activist Musician Accelerator program. And what this does is it travels the country and it connects with artists in their communities who are, first of all, incredibly talented musicians, but secondly, have been experimenting with being a change agent and, again, aren't sure they're being effective. Thirdly, have an idea or a concept. They're very entrepreneurial and they really want to step off the stage and into activism. So those are the artists we work with through this Accelerator program. And we've had the incredible good fortune to bring that skill set and this program to the Upper Valley and Northern New England through the Northern New England Accelerator program, which we now have a network of 6 artists, all of whom through this accelerator are building projects specifically focused on the at-risk youth in our rural communities. Whenever we land in a community with our accelerator, part of the formula is organizing a benefit event. In this case, we had the great fortune of my father, Paul Stuckey, and his fellow troubadour, Peter, to launch this program in Northern New England with a benefit event at the Lebanon Opera House. This was an opportunity not only to remember the songs and the kind of activism that they perpetuated, but also to look forward, because we welcomed onto the stage the artists who were participating in this New England Accelerator. The other piece of the Accelerator is typically an artist retreat. So once the artists have been selected, this retreat is a chance for artists to come together and get to know each other. We usually have an opening circle that's a lovely exchange of kind of where they're at as artists, why they're coming into this issue, and why this kind of activism means so much to them.
My name is Sean, I'm a DJ. I've been in this area in Upper Valley for 6 years. It wasn't until I came here is where I figured that people really needed that out. They needed to have fun. they needed something to do. Because everyone I meet, they say, hey, there's nothing to do. So it's like, all right, let me provide a thing. And then from there, it transformed into a bigger thing. And then I met you guys, and now it's transformed into a bigger thing. So it keeps rolling, and I'm excited to be a part of this group.
The main project goal that we're going to be trying to facilitate in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, which is like very rural New Hampshire, fumbling around with the idea of the name CREATE, which is connecting rural entrepreneurship, art, teaching, and education. Wow. Technology and education. So it would be like the idea is an open space workshop for kids of any and all creative opportunities to have the opportunity to collaborate, the opportunity to learn the steps of everything.
I'm a country and alt-country Americana singer-songwriter. I spent the past decade-ish working in rural community development. Living in a rural place and working with rural people made me be like, oh yeah, this is, I understand why this is where there's 6 country stations. It's a huge, particularly commercial country, is a huge platform, and it's not being utilized. I'm really kind of like have a lot of energy for trying to use that resource as a tool for rural people to authentically see themselves, not to see a caricature.
I'm a poet, language artist, musician. Aside from being a performing artist, I also teach in schools and in juvenile prisons and recovery centers and community youth art centers and living rooms and wherever we can host a workshop.
I'm a singer-songwriter, teaching artist. I've been working to raise youth voices for, I don't know, the last 15 years. I also started juvenile detention centers.
I've reinvented myself a lot. I've been singing all my entire life. And we have a really great community around us here. And I'm really, really grateful. So thank you to all of you for coming here.
And then it's a blend of, continued sharing and exchange, but also we're building a curriculum with them. We know the core kind of pillars around which we want to be delivering information that's helpful to them.
Our goal is to go through each of the 6, which we have all here. Think about who has what skills they can offer, right? Already when people were doing their introductions, I was like, oh, skill, ding, ding, ding. This person can help other people in that way.
Whether it's artistic integrity and wellness, or what's the business of social change? How do they build this in such a way that it can sustain them just a little bit as they also make change? They're also bringing resources.
You can message me and I can put you in contact with organizations that take volunteers into jails and to do creative writing or rap or DJing or breakdancing.
I'm very open to talk and collaborate.
If that's the issue that you're interested in, the research question framing of that could be, how can we use original songwriting and country music to, address issues of domestic violence? That would be the research question.
You guys all have great stories, but when you're pitching to someone, if you're pitching for a grant, it's the same way that you're pitching to a VC or an angel investor, or you're trying to get other people motivated to work with you or work for you or whatever. You gotta have a really, really tight pitch.
Part of what we did with the day was to build what will be our virtual home through a program called Asana. And then we're also starting to get into things like how do you set goals for this concept that you have?
What's your immediate goal going forward for your project, wherever space you're in?
Come with a 6-month curriculum, so I can have 2 sets. One set for the first 6 months, and then maybe move that set onto an advanced thing, and then do another one and start them all over from the beginning.
I guess partner with a youth organization that is already working in the communities that I want to work in.
Next week, I plan meetings with all of the 3 big high schools in the lower Chi-Town area.
Collectively with teens, I'd like to build a music program in the Upper Valley where kids can tell their story through music.
Something that was really important to us as we designed this day was to have it be a blend of personal sharing, peer-to-peer exchange, instruction, but critically creative reminders of why we're all together and why we're doing this work, and how music is the unifier. And so we punctuated the day with these musical moments.
I'm gonna walk just like Jesus does. I'm gonna act like that Mother Teresa. Do you know where her footprints run down the road into that setting sun?
Picked up a book, took a critical look. Horizontal violence is pitiful, this buck. Gotta get your stuff together, bro, you got a little pup. And we move the same direction, that's she looking, that's up, damn it. Poor, can't afford more cannabis, damn it. Planet can't afford more damages, damn it. Tripping, trying to learn how to manage. And everything I do, I gotta go ham sandwich, damn.
The accelerator typically is delivered over a 6 to 8 month period of time, at the end of which these artists will have written some grants, identified a nonprofit partner, and identified some community allies who are sort of gathering around them and this issue and their work with the partner, and then delivering at the end of the 6 to 8 months a pilot project. So we will have, as part of the Northern New England Accelerator, we will have 3 pilot projects, one in Maine, one in New Hampshire, one in Vermont, the Upper Valley area.
When you're in the stream of it, you're thinking about it all the time, and so this thread picks up and this one
Totally,
picks up,
exactly.
and so it was a great like snapshot that I needed. Yeah.
One of the things I love from where I sit with Music to Life is we get to facilitate a process that's already kind of going on. Like they already know what they want to do in the world, and so we get to sort of incubate and seed and further their visions for a better world through their music, and it's one of the most incredibly gratifying processes I've ever been involved in.
Oh, that's what we're doing, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Get it now, thanks Liz.